balance?
I'm studying in my car.
You want to do it in there?
I got to bed at 6:30, got in the shower and stand here and I was like, oh. No, the bed's fine. I just had to get back in bed for like 20 minutes, but I was fine.
Oh, that's great. Really good. I mean, so many people are just would rather be dead, you know.
I know, people are sick for 9 months.
You're saying today.
Yes. Thank you. 6.5 weeks.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Great mom.
Thank you. I hope so.
You get it before and after.
No.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think it was funny because I was talking to my cousin and I said, I haven't had any morning sickness, so I just don't think I'm going to. And afternoons and all that. And so, but I was okay. I'm so tired.
I know that's what they say, that you're always so tired all the time, and it gets,
What? No, I can't stand in one place. It's going to follow me. It's the way I teach. We have a special treat today. We have two special treats today, in fact. First special treat is these folks here. And these folks are with a group called Appalshop. And Appalshop are people, you're headquartered in Whitesburg, are you? In Whitesburg, Kentucky. That Appalshop makes films about Appalachia. They make films about people and things that go on. And about folk and popular culture that goes on. Just what we talk about here. And there's some wonderful films about this guy, this butcher from Letcher County, and all kinds of great stuff that goes on. And things that happen, particularly music. And music we know is so important to our culture. And they're here today making a film about an individual, about a singer. And what's interesting about this film is that the singer sings rock and roll. And we're here studying, at this point in the semester, rock and roll. And we're studying rock and roll in American culture and the importance of rock and roll as one kind of American popular music. Well, most of the stuff that Appalshop does, and most of the recording on June Apple Records, is that still going? You still have that, right? Is more traditional country folk music of the Appalachian region. But this is a film about rock and roll, about a particular artist named Hasil Adkins, who was described here as looking like a guy you just caught with a mouthful of your best goat. He tore up the club with a set of primitive hunch rock that even had the statist dinks doing belly rubs in the dirt, was the way he was described by Spin magazine in December 1987. This is rockabilly that we've talked about extensively. This is the kind of music, and let me tell one story that is legend. And I don't know if it's true or not, and we'll ask him when we see him if it's true or not. It's a story that said when he heard Hank Williams on the radio, he, of course, thought that everybody on that record was Hank Williams. And that the drums and the guitar and the vocals and the backup vocal, of course, were all Hank Williams. Because the record said Hank Williams. So he's been a one-man band, I guess, in a sense, ever since, doing all those kinds of things. So we're going to bring him in here to answer some questions for us. Some of the kinds of things that you want to know. We're going to ask him those kinds of things. What are the kinds of things that we're interested in? His roots, the kind of people he likes now, the kind of music that he listened to growing up. All those kinds of things that we've talked about, right? Shake your hands. Yes, good. Take a picture of them shaking their heads. Good. Everybody shake your heads. Good. It's good. Okay, who's going to bring him in? Where is he? Is he outside? I'm going to introduce Hasil Adkins. Where is he? He's going to come in right now to uproarious applause as he steps in the door. Come on, can you do it? He's not in the door yet. Yeah! All right. Hasil Adkins, this is my class, and they want to ask you a few questions. And I'm Jim Eisman, and it's just really a pleasure to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to meet all of you.
Let me tell you what we're studying this semester. What we're studying here is American popular culture. And that part that we're studying now in this course is music in American popular culture. And at that point in this discussion of music, we're talking about rock and roll and the importance of rock and roll to American culture. And we've traced rock and roll from about 1955 right up till the present. And we're particularly interested in what made rock and roll happen, and what made rock and roll happen in that period of the 50s, and why it's so important today. And they probably have some questions. Let me ask the first one. Can I?
Yes.
I want to ask you. I don't want to make you give a lecture to them. I want to ask you, what kinds of people, what kinds of musicians made you? Did you listen to that make you think and play and talk the way you do now?
Well, from the way I seen back when I was a kid and growing up, I mean a small kid, what I see was coming on. I seen it before it come. It was the black color. I love the music. I mean, the music was real slow. They had rock and roll if they just speeded it up.
Yeah.
But you know, back in early 40s, it wasn't no rock and roll, you know, and it's just mostly country and bluegrass. But anyway, them and Jimmy Rogers and Hank Williams brought it up to a faster beat, you know. I mean, give it an up tempo, you know.
Yeah.
He done a good job on it. And then so Elvis was rooting in there and getting better what he was, and finally they, you know, he got a hold of the wiggling and the shaking and the screaming and all that.
We saw the pictures of him doing that.
I brought it one year, brought it where it's come to. I was playing and singing at same time before he got his start, but he just hit it, you know. Just happened to be there when the brakes come.
Yep.
You know, got the brakes that you need to, you know, really get over. But my part of it, the black music is really what got me started. Jimmy Rogers, the old Jimmy Rogers, way back, the old 51 guitar. Him and the black really what got me interested. And then I moved up to Bill Monroe, Roy A. Cup, and Hank Williams, and you know, we just went up so that way. And when Elvis came along, I had to mock him, or I couldn't make no money or do it. I used to stand up. I got tapes back when he started, you know, getting his start. And I think I done a good job of it. I mean, I got so I sounded just like him. And then everybody would tell me, well, you're going to have to get somebody else. You know, you're going to have to be your own self, or you'll never make it mocking him. Well, since they told me that, I was in L.A. When they told me that in 56, 57, they did, I don't know how many made it, you know, from his, other words, mocking him, going through the same thing, not the wiggling and stuff and all that and shaking.
He didn't wiggle, huh?
But the singing, you know, Conway 20, he started the same way, mocking him. That's how he got up on the ladder, and then he went strictly over to country. You know, just went to sing the country. But I always loved the blues. I got to go back to that. I've got a lot of blues recorded that will be out, because I love that type of music. I do, and I always will. I like rock and roll. I like a little bit of all, you know, all sorts of music. So much of it. There's a lot of it I can't understand. But, you know, I like a few songs of it anyway. But I really liked the Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis, and, you know, back in their days. I really like that music better than I do any they got out. I mean, when you come down to the shimmy and shaking and getting the rhythm to it, I like that, you know. Because they put everything they had in it. You know, moving into heavy rock. I like some of heavy rock. I ain't putting it down. I like some of it. But, well, my age today, you know, he just moved up, and I just like the old 50s and 60s music. I mean, I'd rather hear that than I would interesting. Almost got totally away from country. I sang some country. I like anything got a beat to it. Now you got anything to ask?
They do.
What was it like trying to get a recording contract before and after Elvis? Are there any differences?
Say that again?
What was it like trying to get a recording contract before Elvis made rock and roll popular?
Well, I was recording at home. I told him I was recording at home, because where I lived, I was back in the woods. It was so far away that you couldn't, you know, get to no recording company. I mean, you know, they were too far off. So I done the most of them. A lot of songs that they're hearing now, I cut them in 51, 52, 3, 4, and 5, 6. They're hung up over. We'll clean up to now. And I'm getting ready to go back to New York and record 4 more new albums will be out this year. Then I'm getting ready to go across the water. I'm more famous across the water. That's what started though over there. They got a hold of some of my music, put it on the air, and the kids went wild over it. So then they come to home and send me off, to record for them out of Germany. And so now I guess I recorded for about 5, 6 different countries over there before they started me up in the United States. Then they got to liking it, and then it just keeps going. I think it will be a big thing. And from the looks of it, it will be. So any rest of you got anything, or you got anything else?
What do you think about American popular music today? Is there any bands you particularly like, or you just think, oh, that's trash, it's kind of my opinion?
The country, the music what they play now, that's just the same as 50, early 60, what they call rock and roll back in Elvis days, It's got the same beat and all that. They just moved it up in that beat, and then they moved the heavy rock in with rock and roll, was supposed to be. But they, changed it. And I like it, because I just like music. I like any kind of music. I can listen to it, play all night long, all week long, because I just like music of all types. And I think it's the best thing that ever happened was rock and roll to the whole country. But it ain't only for the young, it's for everybody to, whether they can have something to do, or, it'd give me something to do. Because I'd get down harder, I could always pick my guitar up and come right back out of it. Get down in dumps and stuff. I don't usually get that way, but sometimes I do. Anybody else?
When you record at home, you play a lot of instruments yourself?
Yeah. I could play about 9 instruments all at the same time. If I had them all around me where I could get to them, where I could jump to them. That's why I'm moving my hand. I'm used to playing something all the time. But, yeah, I'll play, well, you would have to hear me now to see, because, over the years, you got to get better. So now I could take about 4, 5, 6 different instruments, and I could do better with them than what I could 8 or 10. So I'm cutting it down, the quality of it down, because when you travel, it's, it costs so much to pack it along with you, so the less you got, well, the cheaper they can send you across the country with,
You can see tonight, Tooligans. You can come and see.
It makes
what
you,
can do.
it's really better all the way around.
What instrument did you start on?
What, man?
What instrument did you start with? Guitar?
Yeah, guitar. But back then, I had made mine, you won't believe it, the first one I made was out of a milk can, the next one back in, you just see stuff like you got nowadays, When I was a kid, then I made it out of a lard bucket, and I made them out of water buckets, and then I got my first guitar. It wasn't no count. Then I got my second one, it was pretty good. But I just, love it, and I just kept at it. And I'm been places, he's took me places I never dreamed I would be, without the music. So, it's just like if you really love something, you love it. There ain't no getting around it. I try to quit, there ain't no quitting. Try to get married and all that won't work. Because just quick you get married, they throw the guitar out. Pawn it, sell it, or anything, get rid of it. Or it's what you play. And that won't work. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Exactly what instruments do you play?
Which ones?
Yeah.
Well, I can play the piano, I play the lead and the bass and rhythm on the same guitar. And I play the drums, I play the organ, and harp, harmonica, all at the same time. Now, it looks impossible, but that's why, you got to have something different, because if you ain't got it, you just can't take just one thing go with you. You got to have, I was taught that when I was young, you got to have something different what's going on in the world. In the song that you write, you got to. Do either of you have my records or anything?
Just me.
Which ones you got?
Out to hunch.
Well, you got that.
It's the 50.
I Need Your Head and all that. Now, across the water, they're eating that up, because it's different in all the music they ever hear. So we ain't never hear nobody write songs like you're writing, And they told me what they think of them, So well, if we didn't like them, we wouldn't buy them, because we love it over here. And we got a day about eating no more hot dogs, you like that? Well, I've got a new one to come about these hamburgers things. Just something way out, Would you, you could either dance to it, or get tickled at it or laugh at it or something, you know. Anyway, just make you happy in life, you know. Anybody else?
Do you sit down and say you're gonna write a song, or do you kind of let that happen? And
Well, you hear them on my record, that's the way I write it. I'm going to New York and I got one song I'm gonna record. I made about a girl, Devon Rock. And I believe it'll go over, if anything will go over this one. I hope so. But all the rest of the albums I'm gonna record, it's just gonna be out my, you know, just sit down and do them, go home and do it. Because they just put me in there and I can do what I want to. You know, just say, well, just take it and you go on. They don't stop the machines, just keep it letting it roll. Just, you ain't got that new one, raw, man, Alan?
Not yet. I'll
Get that.
buy it.
Well, I done all them songs down.
I'm gonna tell them about the 2 albums.
Just the way you hear the wall, man. I mean, the way you hear it,
Yeah.
that's the way I do it. I mean, you know, they ain't no retrack it or go back and doing anything. I just get a name in my head about a girl, if what I'm come across my mind, then I just start with it. Once I get the name of it, I got it. And I have to think that fast to go from word to word, you know, has to go with it. Well, in New York, they said, man, we can't believe it. Hank Williams took him 5 minutes to write a song. So, man, if it takes you 2 minutes to sing a song, that's when you were writing. That's how we do it. So they said, we can't, it's unbelievable that you can write one. They don't even know what you're gonna do when you go in. Just like if I even sing here today, I wanna know a bit more what I was gonna sing or not. Unless they come up and want me to sing a song, you know, song. But if they don't do that, then I just take off singing what I think they realize. And a lot of them I make up around, if I was singing here today, I make up a lot of songs right here, and if one sticks with me, I go back home, and then I either record it back home or go to New York and record it. But I do it, you know, the same situation what I would at home. Of course, I've got thousands and thousands of songs will be out. I will record them from about 1950 on up. It just makes you feel good to sit there today and knowing that you can sing now and do the same thing that you done then, you can do it now, like I said in New York. They said, hey, many people 30 or 40 years ago, like Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis, to get out on the stage and do what they done then, they could come back that late and do the same thing. Then the songs that he wrote back then is holding up now. It's new stuff, you know. So, I like it so far, if we just keep going. Anybody else?
Are you still looking for like a big break? I mean, obviously a lot of people like your music, but you're not a household name. Are you still looking to become real, like across the country famous? Do you aspire to this? Or doesn't matter?
It don't really, matter about that much. I mean, I see my dream come true back 4 or 5 years ago. What I was looking for when I started out in it, It's all we went beyond that. And my manager out of New York, he said, well, you just now starting. We ain't done with you yet, Well, he talk this year, he'll get me over, one way or another, I hope so. Anybody else?